Kamala Harris has a disturbing history of anti-Catholic bigotry. It was very prominently displayed in 2019 when she went after judicial nominees who were members of the Knights of Columbus, the prominent Catholic fraternal and charity organization. Here's a clip of Senator Josh Hawley calling her out on the scandal, followed by numerous news stories that covered it as it transpired.
For those watching at home, that's right, you heard me correctly. Senator Harris and others on this committee have repeatedly questioned judicial nominees' fitness for office because of their membership in the Knights of Columbus.
The Wall Street Journal came out swinging today over two Democrats' questioning last month of a Catholic judicial nominee. Senators Kamala Harris and Mazie Hirono questioned Brian Boucher on whether his membership in the Knights of Columbus, a Catholic-based fraternal service organization, would prevent him from being an impartial judge. The Journal says, quote, "For the record, JFK was himself a knight. If Mr. Boucher is unfit to serve as a federal judge because of his Knights membership, then so is every other Catholic American who doesn't publicly repudiate the Church's moral teaching." The head of the Knights of Columbus responded, saying the senator's questions show there are remnants of the same anti-Catholic prejudice that led to the group's founding in the 1880s.
Do you know what the point of the questions for the record about your membership in the Knights of Columbus was?
No, Senator, I do not.
What's happening in this committee is absolutely nuts, that we're asking people questions about why they're members in the largest Catholic fraternal organization in America.
Back an old standard that the Constitution of the United States explicitly forbids. I'm talking about a religious test for office. Article 6 of the Constitution of the United States, before we even get to the Bill of Rights, Article 6 of the Constitution of the United States says clearly, and I quote, "No religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States." Now that was big news in 1787 when it was written, and it's worth remembering why.
We are feeding the community. We are feeding the first responders. We are feeding our linemen that are restoring all power to our community. We also have converted 4 donation centers, and that's all opened up for donations back to the community.
All of this is basically intended to just bring that little piece of comfort to the families from around the region.
Well, that's a bit of what the Knights of Columbus says it's all about. But the Catholic social and charitable organization that was founded in 1882 is under fire from at least 2 Democratic senators. Mazie Hirono of Hawaii and Kamala Harris of California have been grilling an Omaha-based lawyer who's a nominee to sit on a district court in Nebraska about his membership in that Catholic charity group. Hirono says the Knights of Columbus have, quote, a number of extreme positions, asking nominee Brian Boucher if he could hear cases fairly, or if he was intending to leave the organization if he actually got a seat confirmed on the bench. Boucher says his involvement with the Knights of Columbus consists mostly of charitable work and community events, and he's not backing down. So let's bring in the Reverend Gerald Murray, pastor of the Holy Family Catholic Church, for some analysis. Father, welcome. Great to have you with us.
Thank you, Shannon.
Okay, so listen, some of the concerns that these senators have, they say the Knights of Columbus has taken positions on abortion and marriage they say are extreme and out of the mainstream. They also say he's called himself pro-life. Is it fair to ask questions about whether or not he can be an objective judge?
No, I look at this as an attack on the Catholic Church because the Knights of Columbus as a Catholic organization promotes Catholic teaching about the matter of it's immoral to kill children, and marriage consists of a man and a woman. Those are not extreme positions. Those are truths that were taught by law and culture for most of Western history until quite recently. It's not fair to say if you are a member of a Catholic organization, you're an extremist, because we don't have religious tests in the United States. We respect religion. You may not agree with someone's religion, but don't then say to him, it's illegitimate for you to uphold those positions that your teaching is extreme. No, Catholicism is not extreme. Their attacks are extreme.
During Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation hearing, Senator Hawley emphasized the history of anti-Catholic bigotry from Democratic senators, whether it was Dianne Feinstein referring to Amy Coney Barrett as someone whom the dogma lives loudly within, or Kamala Harris once again attacking nominees for their membership in the Knights of Columbus. His conclusion was poignantly powerful.
This pattern and practice of religious bigotry, because that's what it is. When you tell somebody that they're too Catholic to be on the bench, when you tell them they're going to be a Catholic judge, not an American judge, that's bigotry. The pattern and practice of bigotry from members of this committee must stop. And I would expect that it be renounced.